What's up, people? This is like, I can't make videos today. I really suck. This is like my third take, which I don't even know why I'm telling you this because it always takes me several takes because I suck. But anyway, I hope you guys are doing well, you know, living life. Hopefully about to have spring break. My spring break's coming up. You know, spring break's great because school sucks and every moment not at school is a moment worth living. But anyway, I hope you all are doing well. This is another Percy Jackson video. Also, I know I've done 2 of them already, but I kind of want to do another Would You Rather video because honestly, I'm having a hard time coming up with ideas. And my acting pants are nowhere to be found, so that's why the skit videos aren't here. And, you know, it's just easier to come up with stuff when you all ask me questions. So, Would You Rather 3 could be a thing if you want that. If you don't ask me questions in the comments. But if you do, please ask me questions. Would You Rather questions in the comments. So we can do that and have a good time, maybe, hopefully. Like usual, Percy Jackson Would You Rather questions. But for this case, if you have seen my books I like that aren't Percy Jackson, you know, you know what I like. And if you've read those, some of those, and you want to ask me questions from those, I super invite you to do so. Also, Avatar: Last Airbender, I'm giant nerd for, fan of. Let's just say fan of. So if you want to ask me questions about that, do that as well. So today, if you can read the title, I didn't lie, because I'm not about that lying life. But this is going to be a Rick Riordan series ranking. Not very original idea, I'm sorry. Not all of his series because I haven't read his adult fiction like the Tresnavar stuff, and I'm not going to read those. Also, I must say I am a heathen and I suck, and I haven't finished the Kane Chronicles, and I am sorry. I truly am sorry. And for all you Kane fans, I know you feel like pooped on a lot probably because we never really talk about it. And I hate to add on to that, but here we are. I am sorry. I read The Red Pyramid and The Throne of Fire back in the day, like in middle school, a long freaking time ago. And I was reading Throne of Fire like when it came out. I was on Sketch, and I really liked it. I really, really did enjoy it, and I think if I did finish it, we would be talking about it today, and it would be in the middle or so of this ranking coming up. But I didn't finish the series. I've never read Serpent Shadow. I think somewhere along the year-long wait, I just lost interest, even though I really like the series and I'm a Dumbo. But also, I just kind of had issues with like the 2 universes in one. You know, like the Greeks being a thing and the Egyptians being a thing. Like, even though it was done well, I just thought it was kind of dumb. I still think that. But it's not that big of a deal, I guess. They were good books. But that's kind of why I didn't finish it. I wish I had. Maybe someday I will. But yeah, obviously I can't really put him that much into the into the rankings because I just haven't finished them and I don't remember them. But so I guess they're just an honorable mention. But if I did, they would probably be in like the middle. But anyway, I've been talking too much, so let's get ready to talk some more because that's always a good solution. So this is going to be a regular video. I hope you guys enjoy and don't hate me at the end, but maybe you do. I know I do. I actually self-hate's not good. Let's have fun. So, for the sake of positivity, because you know positivity is good, I'm going to try to focus a little more on saying why I like certain series better than the others, instead of saying why I like certain series less than the others, if that makes sense. But anyway, number 4, we have Trials of Apollo. So, I know this series isn't really finished, so it's kind of maybe unfair to rank it. It may get better. But really, you know, I don't hate this series by any means. I don't even like really dislike it. It's more that I like it, but there's a lot of things that I wish happened differently and that I wish were different and that I wish just weren't there. And I'm not going to go into all that because I don't really just want to like, you know, rant about Schist like incoherently, which is definitely what would happen. But it's really just, how do I say, you know, it's we all kind of know about the Rick Riordan formula. You know, all of his books are kind of similar in the same kind of structure they're at. And it may just be that you know, I'm in my 20s now, and so it's reading these just aren't the same as when I was 12. You know, go figure, seeing as they're more middle grade books. That may be the case, you know, but honestly, I think if I read Percy Jackson for the first time now, I'd like it a lot more than I do the Trials of Apollo, because basically it's Riordan book, but it's not Percy Jackson, and I realize like that's unfair to say, but it's kind of like the same structure. It's kind of like a band that's the same band, but it lost the front man, or it lost the lead guitarist that made it. Like, it's good, but it's not the same, and it's never gonna be like the same. And I'm not saying that, to keep with a band metaphor, that you can't get another front man and it be better or just as good. That's possible, but in this case, I just don't like Apollo nearly as much as I like Percy. And I don't even think Apollo's a bad protagonist. You know, I think he's a decent character. He's going through character development. But one of the things too about like the whole character development thing is like, he's a god. And we see how gods are. And I understand right now he's not a god, but he's probably going to be by the end of the series. Obviously I don't know that, but let's say he is. And all this stuff he learns now, he's probably just going to cast aside in 5 years. You know? It's kind of like, if any of y'all have seen like Survivor, I really like that show, by the way. But Tyson, who was one of the winners, I think he won like one of the Blood versus Waters, and he played like 2 or 3 times. I think he played 3 times. Yeah, he played 3 times. But one of the things he says is, you always hear people on like Survivor, because you know they're like castaways on an island. If you haven't seen it, talk about how, oh, it's changed them and has made them realize all these things that they didn't appreciate, and yada yada yada. You know, all that good stuff. And Tyson's like, yeah, that's true, but after a week of being back into all the stuff that you didn't appreciate in the first place, you soon go back to not appreciating them. Which I think that makes a lot of sense, and I think that's pretty much what would happen with Apollo. So it's kind of hard to really grasp onto all the development that's happening, because he's probably just going to dish it. Which I know is kind of unfair and cynical, and I don't know that. But for me, that's kind of how it feels. And I just feel like Rick is trying to do some things. I'm not going to get into spoilers, but if you guys have watched my channel and you've read the books, you know what I'm talking about. I think Rick has done some things that don't really make sense in the universe. And I feel like they're things that he tried to do to make like a big hoopla, but they just don't really make sense. And they're pretty dumb, in my opinion. I know I said I was trying to be positive, and I'm not doing that very well, so I probably just need to go on to number 3. But I do want to say before I do like the series. I didn't really like the first one, but I like the second 2. I'm going to keep reading the last 2. But basically the main consensus is it's got good things, but it ain't Percy Jackson. And that's why it's on the bottom of a Rick Riordan list. But if you guys enjoy it, awesome for you. And I hope you guys love the last 2. And I'm going to read them, and I hope I love them too. So we'll see. So number 3, we got Magnus Chase. So the thing with Magnus Chase is I'm really kind of like not in common with the way I see this trilogy. It's another trilogy I enjoyed and read all the way through, and I'm glad I did. But I didn't like the second one. And I thought the third one was good, but not great. I thought the ending was kind of flat and not really, like, you know, creative. And look, like, I have kind of a hard time judging authors, because it's not like I could do half as good. Like, I couldn't. And so I can sit here and be like, oh, he should have done that, and blah, 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 in hindsight. But obviously, I wouldn't do that. Rick's a mountain level talent. He's at the top of Mount Everest. I'm like down in the valley. But just as a reader, as a fan of his, and as reading Percy Jackson, all this stuff, I didn't think the ending was that great. And I thought Loki was just kind of flat at the end when he was so awesome in the Sword of Summer. Which the Sword of Summer is why it's better than Trials of Apollo for me. Because I really, really liked the Sword of Summer. I liked it so much more than any of the Trials of Apollo books. And I don't know, like, it kind of fell into the same formula, but it felt really good. I thought Valhalla was awesome. I thought Magnus was great. It was cool seeing a hero that's not really good at fighting. And I know Apollo's not really good at fighting either, but it just felt more like natural with Magnus, and I liked Sam and Hearth and Blitz. I named my dog after Blitz. It was just a really cool book. I've read it more than I have any of the other Magnus books, and I really can't explain why I like it so much. So I know it's kind of a really bad review, but it just felt right. And you know, it's just to be weird. It's like some of the Riordan books, when I'm just walking outside, like a feel in the air reminds me of certain books, or like a place reminds me of certain books. I know that's weird, but I think we're all weird, so it probably happens to you all too. And that happens with me with Sword of Summer, you know what I'm saying? And it doesn't happen with like the Trials of Apollo books or like the next sort of Magnus Chase. But I know that's a really dumb reason to like rank something, but I think it was just really well done. And it was just a good, solid storyline. I feel like things just kind of got, you know, kind of out of the focus, or kind of just lost the thing. Like I said, like Loki was so much better than the Sword of Summer, and it just was all a build up for something that really just didn't go like that great. I will never forget reading about Half-Born Gunderson, like running around like only in his boxers, like screaming things while holding an axe and killing people. Like, that's just dope. And just Valhalla not sound like a dope like afterlife. Like, come on. I mean, that's something that if you die, you're going to want to hold on to like a knife and be like, I went out like a warrior, so you can go to Valhalla. Because literally all they do is chill out in their rooms, and then they go kill each other, and then they wake back up, and then they eat some stuff. Is that not cool? I mean, that just seems like how society was really meant to be, but really can't because we don't come back to life, if that makes sense. But anyway, yeah. Sword of Summer carries Magnus Chase, The Gods of Asgard for me to number 3. So, number 2, we have The Heroes of Olympus. Now, I feel like this is probably a lot of people's number 1. And I think I'll explain more on number 1's obviously Percy Jackson Olympians, you know. And I think I'll explain more than why I like it more than The Heroes of Olympus, because there's not really things I didn't like about Heroes of Olympus. Like, I liked it all, a ton. Like, I love that series a lot. I just want to make that perfectly clear. You know, I enjoy Trials of Apollo, and I liked Magnus Chase, like, a lot. But I love the Heroes of Olympus. The 7 are freaking awesome. I enjoy 7 plus Nico plus Reyna, plus Dakota. Throw Dakota in there. Screw you, Octavian. I can't. Who are the other people? I know there's so many. I can't say them all, but they're all great characters. Like, I don't dislike any of them. I love all of them. Their dynamic was great. Lost Hero was great. You know, even it didn't have the 7, just Jason, Leo, and Piper really made that really enjoyable for me. I love that book. Son of Neptune is probably my favorite because, you know, Percy coming back and fresh with the Rome just made it really awesome. Camp Jupiter is amazing. And then the Argo 2 is so cool too. And Leo just shot up Rome. Frickin' Leo. But it was good. It was awesome. I loved it. So number 1, why did I like Percy Jackson better? Well, it's just the OG, you know. I read it the first time, so there's a lot of nostalgia there. And really, one of the big things that I can really put my finger on it and explain is the villain. Luke Castellan, or Castellan, however you pronounce the name, is a freaking awesome villain. And it's like, I know Cronus is in there too, but it's really more Luke. And Luke is by far the best villain that Riordan has written. He's kind of got the Darth Vader vibes, you know, where he's good, but he's got like the anger and the angst that actually is justified. And then he just turns that justification into a bad place. He's one of those things that's like, there's evil all around. Like, there's really not a good side, you know, because like the gods suck and they treat everyone like schist. But like the alternative is Cronus, and he's just going to kill us all. So that's not cool, you know? But it's like, it's really not like you have a good side to turn to. It's like you got to do the best you got with the schist you have. And Luke just chose to pick the schist that was different than the schist he'd been dealing with his whole life. So really, I mean, it's really just a good story. And the fact that he turned at the end and super emotionally, like he still, even when he killed himself and was turning on Cronus, like you could still see like the anger in him, just at everything. It's just like, all right, bro, I'm out. I'm just going to save you all while I'm doing it. And screw Cronus, because that guy sucks and he possessed me. It's just so much more personal than Gaia, than Loki, than Nero, than all of them. And it just, the ending, I did not expect at all. Like, you kind of know Percy's going to win. I didn't really think he was going to die. I can't remember what I thought at the time, because that was like 9 years ago. But I didn't think he was going to die. But, like, the way they won, I didn't expect. And whereas, like the last two, like, here, gosh, I can't speak. Here's Olympus and Magnus Chase. You just wasn't, like, you could kind of expect everything. Or you weren't really taken away by what happened. So not to say, like, they weren't, well, I think the ending for Magnus Chase was kind of bad, like I said. But Heroes of Olympus, I think, had a decent ending. But just the sacrifice, like the long-lasting, legitimate sacrifice that Luke made, plus just everything come together in a way you didn't expect. Seeing Percy evolving and all this schist, and then finally Percybeth. It was awesome. It was just amazing. And, you know, it made a fanboy out of me like nothing ever had before. And nothing, I don't really think, could topple that. I know Percybeth was awesome in Heroes of Olympus. Super epic. But the friendship plus the relationship coming together, everything was just kind of new for me at the first time. And it was just solid. It just got good vibes, you know? Like having like the fun, just happy-go-lucky, like first couple books, turning into like the darker, deeper stuff that kind of just like makes you kind of shake a little bit. If that sounded weird, but you know what I'm saying, maybe. Throughout that series, you know, coming through with Titan's Curse, Battle Labyrinth, into the Last Olympian, it just all felt so right. It felt so fresh and good, and it made me a lover of Greek mythology and just everything. So yeah, that's my list. A really badly explained list. But you guys are cool. And Percy Jackson is awesome as well. You all are awesome, maybe. I don't know. Hopefully none of you are serial killers. It could be. Maybe we'll just... Okay, I should stop talking. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a good life. Do fun stuff. Drink sweet tea.